Hi there, it's Mrs. Leganke here. We're looking at Tuesday for math class. There's an optional Nearpod today, but a required Go Formative. And keep up with your dream box. There's a Zoom session today as well at 10 o'clock. For the rest of the week, required is IXL and required is a that quiz practice. So here's your Tuesday's agenda. You can click there to see Miss Hartman and she'll walk through some of these things. The optional activity is a Nearpod, and I wanted to just give you a little peek at this because there's a pretty cool part in it where it's a VR experience, virtual reality. So I kind of liked that. And then I wanted to go through the Go Formative Angle stuff with you. So if you want to click on the Nearpod and the virtual reality experience, this is what it looks like when you open up the screen. And there's some pretty good stuff in here. It talks about angle relationships, and you can watch and listen to some videos, so it's a really good reinforcement of the concepts. So one activity in the Nearpod is this matching activity where you have 4 vocabulary words or 5 vocabulary words and the 5 pictures. So you would just match them. So it's good reinforcement and great practice for you. For example, here's vertical angles, so these two would match. Congruent, looking down here, congruent means the same size and the same shape. So I think this one and this one would be a match for congruent. And then adjacent would be angles that are next to each other. And I'm kind of thinking this here, this kind of is showing adjacent. Supplementary are 2 angles that together add up to 180. So if we add these together, it equals 180 degrees. So supplementary would match here. And then complementary forms a right angle. So this is good matching practice. Again, it reinforces the angle vocabulary. But I wanted to get to the VR. When you enter the virtual reality, it'll look like this. And you can actually like turn the screen and kind of walk around to see angles in real life and see like train tracks that are an example of parallel lines here. So it's kind of cool stuff if you want to look around at the virtual reality. Check it out. And then it finishes up with a practice quiz. So congruent angles. Congruent means same size and same shape. So congruent angles right here have the same measure. So that's good practice quiz for you. So that was the optional activity, that Nearpod, to see the VR experience. So I would definitely check it out though. But what you have to do today is the Go Formative. Remember, you log into Clever to do the Go Formative, and you make sure you check her class. So you want to make sure you're in Miss Hartman's class, and the Go Formative app looks like that. So it'll look like this. You'll see some angle relationships, and you might have to write all of the names that apply. So right here, 2 angles side by side, those are adjacent because they're next to each other, they're adjacent, but they also add up to 180, so they are on a straight line, so they're also supplementary. So be on a lookout for, all that apply. Here again, for the next one, these are next to each other, so I would say adjacent again for this one. And they add up to 90 degrees. They form a right angle, so those are called complementary. Moving on to number 3, across from each other, that type is called vertical. They are also congruent. I don't know if that's one of your choices. And then the last 2, you're going to actually do some math and find a number. So the last 2, this one here, these would add up to 180. So we do 180 minus 142 to get the missing angle. So that'll give you that answer here. And these here are across from each other. They're vertical angles. So if the box, did you know that that box means 90 degrees? So if that's 90 degrees, then B is also going to be 90 degrees because they're vertical angles. Okay, so that's a look at Tuesday. The optional Nearpod and the Go formative is required, so make sure you take care of that. But I do recommend you go look at that VR experience. Kind of cool. Get your 3 lessons on Dream. That's 3 lessons for the entire week. Zoom session if you need it, extra help if you need it.